Okay, ladies and gentlemen, let's take a look at surface area of a cylinder. Now, we've already done surface area of a prism. Let's take a look at surface area of a cylinder. Now, obviously, why do we need to deal with them separately? Because the surface area of a prism, there we go, there's a nice little prism. It is 1 by 1 by 2, there you go, or a nice little prism like this. The surface area of a prism is 2b plus ph, and the b changes based on whatever the base is. Well, we're going to basically take this idea and find surface area of a cylinder. Now, the interesting thing about the surface area of a cylinder is that a cylinder has a round top and it has a round bottom. They are still parallel and they are still congruent, but they are circles nonetheless. So instead of 2b, we're going to say 2 pi r squared because that is the area of a circle, and plus ph. Now, we don't want p, we want to replace p. Now, perimeter for every shape that has straight sides is going to be add all sides, add all sides, add all sides. Okay, but for a circle, we have a different perimeter. The distance around a circle is known as, yes, circumference. That's the idea. Circumference. And so we want to find the circumference of a circle. Now we want to do it that end, and here, let's just to be fair, we'll do the same thing to the other end. And we have circumference down here. So we need the distance from here all the way around back to the thing. So that's going to be 2 pi r times height. So 2 pi r squared plus 2 pi RH. That's going to be the surface area of a cylinder. Now you say, I don't believe you. Well, I've already shown you by tracing it, that would cover the bottom, that would cover the top, or vice versa. But how do you get the sides covered? Well, I have a little piece of paper here, and I have pre-found it such that it perfectly wraps around the edges. Okay, pretty much perfectly, like almost perfecty. And it should be just as long as the top, just as long as the bottom. So in this case, I have the surface area of the side, and if I unroll it, it does create a rectangle. So if I go all the way around this, such that when I start rolling right here, here we go, boom. When I start rolling right here, I start and it goes all the way around. Let me pull that back up. There we go. So you start right here and you roll, start right here, and you roll it until that line comes right back down and touches, and it should touch right there. So there you go. So we have the area of a circle. Now, this lateral surface area, because again, it's around the sides, the lateral surface area, versus the area of the base up here and the area of the base down here. Now it makes sense because we have 2 pi r squareds. So if I have this radius, this area is going to be pi r squared for this circle. And if I have this radius, I have area equals pi r squared for this circle. And so I have 2 pi r squareds. Now, 2 pi r, because I showed you we went all the way around, and you come up with this side is 2 pi r, and the height is the same all the way around, 2 pi RH. So if I put that all together, I can find the area, the surface area, how much it would take to paint all the area on the surface of this. Let's find the area. Now, this is a 1 1/4 inch dowel. So halfway is going to be 5/8. So if my diameter equals 1 and 1/4, also known as 5/4. The radius would be half of 5/4, which is 5/8. Okay, so I can say 2 pi 5/8 squared plus 2 pi 5/8 times, now I need a height. So let's find a height here. Height would be 2 3/4. Looks like 2 3/4. Now, folks, there are fractions in here. You can handle the fractions. So this would be 25/64 times 2 would be 50/64 pi. Plus, I have 2 times 5. Now, if I do 2 3/4, that's going to be 8. That's going to be 11/4. So I have 55, 110 pi over 32. So I have 50 pi over 64 plus 220 pi over 64 if I get common denominators, and I get 270 pi over 64. If I do it otherwise, I take 5 divided by 8, and that would be 0.625. I would take times 0.625 times 3.14 times 2. That gives me 2.45. And over here, I'm going to take 2 times 0.625 times 2.75 times 3.14, and I get plus 10.8. And if I do that, 270 divided by 64 equals times 3.14, I get 13.25 basically, and 2.45 plus 10.8 is 13.25. So whether you do it with fractions or whether you do it with decimals, you come up with the same answer. You're going to come up with the same answer, but you simply plugged it in. Now, that is for a right prism, and it's for a right cylinder. We'll take a look at how to do some of the non-right ones here in just a little bit. All right, so there you go, right cylinders.